Stuart Nash.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Labor is supporting this bill for reasons that that Minister outlined, or a number of them, but I must admit, Mr Bridges must be quite a tired gentleman. That was a speech that was read, no passion whatsoever. Take a long holiday, mate, and come back all refreshed. Maybe you could put a bit of energy into it. We understand the reason for this bill, Mr Speaker. We're talking about a blowout of up to an obligation of about $10 million by 2016-17 and an obligation, or a shortfall of around about $20 million over the next 3 years. We've got to meet our obligations under these treaties, and it is important we do that as a good global citizen, so we will. But, Mr Speaker, there are a couple of concerns I do have about this particular bill. One is, according to the bill, Mr Speaker, and this is section 24, that the excise duty the levy will be collected by the New Zealand Customs Service and it will be paid by the oil companies. It is at a very small rate, Mr Speaker. It's at about 0.045 cents per litre. So it probably won't be noticed at all, but we are still talking about $20 million out of the taxpayer's pocket over the next 3 years. When I say out of the taxpayer's pocket, the levy on this actually has to be paid by the oil companies. But, Mr Speaker, the concern I have is what will happen is the rate is, as mentioned, 0.045 cents per litre. But what will actually happen is the oil companies will say, we have this new levy, we've got to pay for it, therefore they will pass it on to the consumer through the petrol pump, and they'll whack another cent a litre on. So I see this as just another way, Mr Speaker, potentially of the oil companies making extreme monopoly rent profits out of a piece of bad news that'll come along. I hope it doesn't happen, Mr Speaker, but I can just see how it could. And this is at a time that petrol companies are making record profits.
Order.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. This is at a time when petrol companies are making record profits. They seem to have us over a barrel, pardon the pun. Thank you, someone's listening, fantastic. Terrible, I know. However, the oil companies, Mr Speaker, are very, very quick to put up the price when something like this comes along, but very slow to drop the price. And we have seen a little bit of a fall on the price recently, there's no doubt about that, but not at the rate that that international oil prices are dropping around the world. The one interesting thing about this, Mr Speaker, is I was looking through the regulatory impact statement, and it's something that MPs use, as the Speaker himself knows very, very well, that to get a little bit of a background about the bill, what it's about, the process it's gone through. It's a very important document. I was looking at the risks because it tends to be the first thing I look at when I'm assessing a new bill, and I was surprised to see that there are a couple of sections that were deleted under the Official Information Act, and I'm just a little bit surprised because we need to know what this is about, and certainly when it comes to the risks, why would you take a chunk of those risks out so MPs can't assess them? I'm pleased that Claire Curran will be talking on this because she was on the Select Committee, and maybe she can just allude to a couple of she will allude to just a couple of the risks, and that's good to hear, and she shall. Mr Speaker, we are supporting this. But the final point I would like to make, and I've made it before, but I would like to make this, I just hope that what we do not see as a result of this bill going through is a disproportionate increase of petrol at the pump for good, hard-working Kiwis that are really struggling to make ends meet at this time of growing inequality. On that note, Mr Speaker, I do wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a safe and enjoyable New Year. And we commend this bill to the House. Thank you very much.